Good evening and welcome. I call to order the Lake Havasu City Council regular meeting on Tuesday, August 12th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. If you please join me in a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by the future business leaders of America.
Hello, everybody. My name is Reese Ford. I am Lake Havasu High School's this year's president, co-president, and we're going to lead the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, please. Thank you so much, Mr. Mellinger and Mrs. Burke and all of the FBLA students for being here. I'll turn it over to you to share a little bit about your organization.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor and council members for having us. A special thank you to Council Member Cameron Moses. He does so much for our program, and I really appreciate him bringing us in for you guys to recognize these guys for doing great at nationals. The students we have with us today are the students that qualified to go to nationals. We had nationals were June 27th through July 3rd in Anaheim, California. And we did a great job this year. Just a little bit on Future Business Leaders of America, and then Ms. Burke's going to talk about how tough it is or what these guys have accomplished. We are missing 6 students because they're either back to school or working, but we took 16 students from the Lake Havasu chapter. And we, in Arizona, at FBLA Nationals, the top 10 make it to the stage and they get a trophy. And this year, Arizona usually gets typically 10 to 15 individuals or teams that make it to the stage and place top 10. This year, Lake Havasu had 3. And it was the most out of any Arizona school. There was 2 other schools that had 2 and a few schools that had 1. So these guys did an amazing job. I want to recognize the people that actually placed at national so you kind of have an idea. Reese Ford. You guys have met Reese. Reese took first place in the state in impromptu speaking, and then he placed 9th at nationals.
So,
next up are Abriana Fontes and Jordan Reichert. You guys could come up. They actually did digital video production, and they shot a video to come visit Lake Havasu. So it was really an amazing video. We probably should have showed it, but then they had to explain to the judges how they went about deciding how they do it and everything they did to make it. They placed 10th at nationals. So great job. And then we have Brandon Larson, Xavier Smith, and Caleb Stilson is not able to make it tonight. These guys, it's kind of a funny story. Xavier and Caleb were on a team. They took 4th at state, so they barely qualified to go to nationals. Brandon didn't qualify, but they'll let you add people to your team, or if there's some open spots, you can fill those in. So we asked if we could put Brandon on the team. They redid their video game and took 4th in the nation. So they're a great accomplishment. All right, I'll let Ms. Burke tell you a little bit more about how hard it is to do what these guys did.
We're very honored to be here. Thank you so much. My name is Michelle Burke. I teach software and app design. It's my 26th year in the school district. I'm here to tell you about the preparation it takes to practice for the competitions. So first they go to regionals where students compete against schools with neighboring counties. Then we host a local mock state practice where we're grateful for local businesses to judge and give feedback to the students. I find this invaluable. It provides an opportunity for them to hear another voice other than than us talking to them. And it gives a chance for the students to complete a full dress rehearsal of their presentation. Then in April, we traveled to Tucson for the state competition. Over 2,500 Arizona students attend, 2,500. Only the top 4 make it to nationals, and we did have 13 students that qualified, and we did take 16 total. It's hard to understand the magnitude and the size of nationals. Just picture 15,000 students from around the nation, 15,000. So we will be competing again this year, and nationals will be held in San Antonio, Texas, and we have to earn all of our funds, and so we're grateful and thankful for any tax credit donations to FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, and our organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Councilmember Diaz has a question.
Just a quick question. Where in Anaheim was that held, the contest?
At the Anaheim Convention Center.
Okay, good.
So yeah, it's a 4-day event. They have a big opening session, and it's really a big deal. And it's so much energy in that stadium, and the whole state of Arizona, when our Lake Havasu gets called, the whole state of Arizona is cheering for us. So it's very exciting. Yes.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for being here, students. Amazing, impressive. What a bright future we have with you in the lead there. Congratulations. Mr. Mellinger, Mrs. Burke, thank you so much for leading our students and doing such an amazing job. To have that many folks, students place at nationals is something to be very, very proud of. Congratulations again. Thank you for being here. All right, we'll move on to item 4 of our agenda, which is the roll call. Ms. Williams, if you'd please call the roll.
Council members Nancy Campbell. Oh, I'm sorry.
Present.
Thank you. Jenny Koch.
Here.
Jim Dolan.
Here.
David Diaz.
Here.
Cameron Moses.
Here.
Vice Mayor Michelle Lynn.
Here.
Mayor Kal Sheehy.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 5 is our consent agenda. Would any of the council members like to remove any of the items for separate discussion? Yeah, Councilmember Diaz?
Yeah, there's one item that I had some citizens ask about, 5.2. No, I'm sorry, not 5.2. I answered that one for him. 5.8. 5.8. Just wanted to get some clarification on that. They wanted some information.
Okay.
5.2 is fine.
Do we have a motion for the consent agenda?
Mayor,
Yeah, Councilmember Koch?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda minus item 5.8 as presented.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Koch, a second from Councilmember Moses. Councilmember Moses, if you could. Thank you. All right, we are ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. And then we will hear item 5.8 separately, which is number 25-3866, approving the intergovernmental agreement with the state of Arizona Department of Transportation for the multi-use path upgrades along State Route 95. Mr. Hart, would you be able to make your way to the podium? And Councilmember Diaz, if you have any questions on that item.
I just want to get some specifics on what exactly the upgrades are, just explaining what you're doing, what we're attempting to do.
Yeah, it really is quite simple. It's a Cape Seal project. So we'll just come in and we'll provide this Cape Seal over the whole corridor from where it meets McCulloch Boulevard and the southeast and goes all along the state highway up to Palo Verde Boulevard north. So it's really just a simple maintenance pavement preservation project.
That clears it up. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, are there any other questions on this item? All right, is there a motion on this item?
I make a motion to approve the item as written.
Second.
All right, do we have a motion and a second for item 5.8?
Mayor,
Yes,
do we need to open to the public for
we could do that.
doing? I just thought of if we needed to or not.
Sure. This is a public hearing, which is kind of awkward because I'll go over the public hearing in a few minutes. But if anyone does have any comments on this item, please make your way to the podium. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. We do have a motion from Councilmember Diaz, a second from Councilmember Dolan. We are ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. All right, item 6 is correspondence, communications, petitions, announcements, and the city manager report. Item 6.1 is the fiscal year 24-25 fourth quarter contracted agency reports for Haven Family Resource Center. Chief Sterling included this in our packet for our review. It's also on the city website at lhcaz.gov for citizens review. Moving on to item 6.2 is to announce the vacancies on Lake Havasu City boards, committees, and commissions. Ms. Williams?
Mayor and City Council, there is one vacancy on Lake Havasu City Board, Committees, and Commissions. That vacancy is a Board of Adjustment alternate member. If anyone is interested, they can pick up a packet at City Hall. They're also available on the city's website at www.lhcaz.gov. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6.3 is our city manager's report. Good evening, Mr. Knutson.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Merry Tuesday. Lots to share this evening, starting with a great picture that we took at our last council meeting. At our last month in July, we wrapped up a very successful July. There was more than 1,500 residents that engaged and participated through a variety of programs and events, from outdoor ventures to activities at the Aquatic Center that brought fun and connection for all ages throughout the community. With a proclamation from the Mayor's office and support from the City Council, we celebrated this very special month, and I'd like to thank our staff, our volunteers, and our partners for making it such a great success. On to August. So this month is also packed with activities and for the community and for those to participate. August is bringing the After Dark and Parents Night Out programs, for example. So please check out our calendar. It's available on our website. Don't miss out on a chance to join the fun. There's a few classes that have already sold out. So if you are interested in something that's on the calendar, please register as soon as possible. And you can call the Aquatic Center at 453-8686 for more details. Or of course, please visit our website. Teachers with the Lake Havasu Unified School District prepared for their first day back to school with their annual Teachers Rally. As staff entered the school, they were greeted by a high school band of knights, the Color Guard, and Spirit Line. Mayor Sheehy proclaimed July 29th as Together We Are Lake Havasu Unified School District. Together We Are All Knights Day in Lake Havasu City. All residents are encouraged to celebrate their students, the staff, and the schools of the Unified School District as they begin the new school year. I'd like to thank River Scene Magazine for their great pictures that they shared with us. The city and the Chamber of Commerce celebrated the new parking lot at London Bridge Beach, spanning from the dog park to Sir Peter Gadsden Street. The upgrade enhances safety, accessibility, and traffic flow, and is part of a citywide park improvement project with lots of our parking lots being addressed, including at Cypress Park, the overflow lot there, Jack Hardy Park, Pima Square, Dick Samp, and Avalon Parks. Thanks to all the City Public Works streets maintenance crew, and that made this possible for our residents to enjoy these wonderful locations. And congratulations to Brandon Lamacki, Justin Mooney, Tyler Morgan, and Cody Smith, as well as Jeff Spencer for successfully completing the MCC paramedic program class. Your dedication and compassion will make a vital difference in our community. Thank you to all who trained and supported these graduates. We look forward to the impact you will have here in Lake Havasu City. We have our very successful police servant assistant program. So we have three. We added a third one this year in the budget for as far as positions. Corey Marinani is our police service assistant, and I'm going to let her share with us her perspective and how that program works with a quick video.
Hello, my name is Cora Mariani, and I'm a police service assistant with the Lake Havasu City Police Department. My journey started in 2021 when I joined the Police Cadet Program. I began as a police cadet in September of 2021 and spent 3.5 years learning the tasks officers face every day, training, ride-alongs, and real mentorship. Since childhood, I've wanted to become a police officer because of my grandparents who served as partners at the Santa Ana Police Department. But after high school, I felt lost. I had 3 years before I can apply to the academy, and I didn't know how to move forward. Then I learned about the Police Service Assistant program, and I knew right away it was where I belonged. This program gives high school graduates a chance to explore law enforcement before committing to the academy. As a PSA, I handle parking enforcement, assisting on delayed calls, monitor speed zones, patrol city parks, and connect with the public at community events. It's more than a job. It's a full-time paid opportunity with benefits right out of high school, and it creates a smooth path into the academy. In about 2 years, I plan to apply, and thanks to the experience and training that I've gained, I'll be ready for whatever comes next. If you're called to serve but don't know where to start here.
Cora's been doing an amazing job for us. I know the chief and the leadership within the police department are very proud of her. And so thank you, Cora, for a great video and explaining the program. We do have one spot that's open. So a high school graduate that is interested in taking a look at this, there are some requirements, but please visit our website for more information. Oops. A big thank you to the Four Seasons Heating and Cooling for sponsoring the free swim at the Lake Havasu City Aquatic Center on Sunday, August 3rd, and to Aloe for sponsoring the free swim on Sunday, August 10th. We greatly appreciate your generous support in making these community events possible, and I know the parents greatly appreciate it too. If you're unable to attend the community workshop for the Lake Havasu City 2026 General Plan Update, our virtual workshop is available now for the next few days. So until August 15th, for just a couple more days, you can go visit the website, share your feedback on transportation, housing, parks, conservation, and future growth within Lake Havasu City. You can scan the QR code, or there's a link on the city's website to get to this website. We are launching our inaugural Havasu Residence Academy. This is a free 8-week program to learn more about your local government and how we operate as a city. We'll be talking about our operations, our day-to-day activities, how the budget is formed, how projects are identified, and again, 8 weeks of different classes attended by or taught by department heads, members of the council, mayor, and others. So if you're interested, please reach out and sign up as soon as possible. We announced this program yesterday, and we are close to filling. It's almost at capacity. So if you are interested, now is the time to do that. The program will run from September 25th through November 13th. Space is limited to 20 participants, and we'll accept participants on a first come, first served basis. So you can scan the QR code for more information or contact our community engagement officer, Jerry Bracamonte, at 854-0801. And finally, as we continue to discover our great parks within Lake Havasu City, as part of our Get to Know Your Park series, in this video, we have Councilmember Jenny Koch, who is highlighting Grand Island Park, which is, of course, a fantastic destination for outdoor enthusiasts, featuring open grass fields, frisbee golf, and the island jogging path. It is the perfect place to get active, relax, and soak up the unique charm of Lake Havasu. So let's see what Councilmember Koch has to say.
Hi, I'm Councilmember Jenny Koch. I'm here at Grand Island Park, a fantastic destination for outdoor enthusiasts in Lake Havasu City. This neighborhood park is nestled in a residential area on the island at 750 Malibu Drive. It offers vast open grass fields perfect for recreational activities like frisbee golf. It's also home to the scenic Island Jogging Path. The Island Jogging Path is a 3.6-mile paved loop that provides breathtaking views of the mountains. Whether you're running, biking, or walking your leash dog, it's a great way to stay active and enjoy our scenery. Grand Island Park is a gem for locals and visitors, offering something for everyone. Come and explore this beautiful space.
Thank you, Councilmember Koch, for reintroducing us to the Grand Island Park. on the island. And with that, Mayor and Council, that completes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Knudsen. All right, we'll move on to item 7, which is our public hearings. There are 7 public hearings this evening. During each of the public hearings, if you have any feedback when we open the public hearing, we encourage you to make your way to the podium, state your name for the record. There will be indicator boxes on the screens throughout the room with your time limit. We do ask that you address the city council directly and make any comments towards the council, and then we can have a two-way conversation during that portion of the meeting. At the end of the meeting, we'll have a call to the public. That will be an opportunity for citizens to address the council on items within the jurisdiction of Lake Havasu City that are not on the agenda, but we can't have a two-way conversation at that point of the meeting. So again, we just encourage you, if you're here for one of the public hearings, to engage in the conversation during that public hearing. We'll start with item 7.1, which is ordinance number 25-1366, approving the planned development rezone and general development plan of 2415 and 2425 Kiowa Boulevard North, tract 2182, block 8, lots 1 and 2, from limited commercial North Kiowa Overlay District to limited commercial North Kiowa Overlay Planned Development District to increase the allowed outdoor storage height from 6 feet to 10 feet and to allow the outdoor storage area to exceed the area of the primary building. Mr. Kearns.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Subject properties measures 0.76 acres. Lot 2 is currently developed with Havasu Turf Pro's existing operation, and Lot 1 is undeveloped and located on Kiowa Boulevard North between Catalina Drive and Hillview Drive. The abutting property to the east is zoned limited commercial North Kiowa Overlay and is currently vacant. The properties to the north and west are zoned limited multifamily R3 district and developed with a mixture of 2-family and residential and multifamily residential uses. The general plan designates this area as commercial mixed use. The applicant's letter of intent requests to allow outdoor storage materials to be stored 10 feet high and allow the outdoor storage area to exceed the area of the primary structure. The applicant will also be improving and expanding the parking and common area. The recommended code compliance conditions are: 1, the development of the property shall substantially match the general development plan. 2, the 2 properties shall be combined into 1 property prior to design review approval. 3, the perimeter fence shall be an 8-foot tall concrete masonry units wall. 4, the existing driveway located on Lot 2 shall be shared future access for properties to the east. And 5, building permits and design review for compliance with city codes are required prior to development of the property. Besides the requested exceptions, the request complies with the required findings of the Development Code. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted 7-0 to recommend approval at their July 16th meeting. I'll be happy to answer any questions, and the applicant is also here today.
Thank you, Mr. Kearns. Are there any questions from members of the council for Mr. Kearns or the applicant? Yeah, Councilmember Campbell.
Mr. Kearns, you know I'm an advocate for all the commercial nodes and protecting the parking and common area. On this, do you have another graph on here where it shows like the whole block? Like
the area map.
Yeah, okay. Oh, there we go. That's the one I'm looking for. So basically, as you can see, the footprints that were consistent for a long time, it looks like they allowed back parking off the alleyway. Is that an alleyway back there?
Yes, it is an alley.
And then they allowed the front parking here on Kiowa. I'm back in the day when I used to do designs and commercial designs, they were very strict. The city was very, very strict on protecting these nodes. I mean, the parking issue. Mm-hmm. So that, because if it's only 25 foot wide and somebody builds right next to you and right at the street, you're stuck. You're sandwiched in. You know, a good example of that is the dental business building, what we did to them. Now we just did it to Frontier Concrete. We put a big estate on one side, residential estate, and then we have a 25-foot little parcel in the middle, and then we did a bunch of tiny houses on the other side. Just really making for a very uncomfortable looking commercial node that once used to be. When did we as the city start to change that keeping the parking in common is not that important anymore? It seems like wherever they come in, and it sounds like the staff is recommending that we can put these, and I mean, we even have one way up here at the front. So there's no consistency. Do you know when this started to change? Because back in the day, they were really stringent about it. Like, look at Superbach. That's a good example of that.
So for this specific example, the building on the developed property was built in the 1970s. So it's currently legal non-conforming. The current parking common plan, like you see at 2455, is the current plan that was adopted in the 90s.
Okay.
So they have an existing condition that prevents them from developing that front parking lot on where their building is. And then the next lot over where they're doing extending their storage, they're going to be developing that parking in common as the plan appears today.
Okay. And I did appreciate that. So the existing empty lots that are there, would it be like a staff's recommendations to kind of be consistent, do you think, of what you see out there already? Or is that just a plan review that this could change at any time?
With their site plan, those other empty lots with that existing driveway, that is stated in here that is, which it would anyways, but we reiterated it in our conditions, that driveway will be shared access for the future when they develop those front parking lots.
Right.
So
that's really
the next door neighbor won't have to put a driveway in. They can use that existing driveway to access their lot.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. And I'm glad that they did put some parking in common over here. But moving forward, I'm just going to, every time I'm going to message the same thing, because our neighborhoods are really, our commercial nodes are really kind of all over the board right now. And I'd like to see some consistency. We don't have much commercial left. And the one thing about those, people go, well, nobody ever built on them before. What I have heard from people in the last 10 years is like, there's no certainty with the city. They allow you to move all, like what they're doing, the tiny houses next to them. But back in the day, that was such a great thing. You'd have a 25-foot wide, you could own your own parcel. You had zero setbacks. So it almost looked like you own your own commercial node. You're in a commercial building. And everybody was consistent, and it was really nice looking. And that was the intention of the original, probably, I guess you said back in 1990-ish, right? To start doing it that way, which was, I thought, a great idea and a positive thing. But, it's always ever changing. But thank you. I appreciate it.
So the certainty that we have right now is the code from 1990 will ensure, as those other lots develop, that they develop with that plan with the parking in common connection. This is a component of that.
I agree, but they're always in front of us right now. I mean, we're rezoning these. We just did one with Frontier. We sandwiched Frontier in with only 25 foot, like literally. That gives them maybe 3 parking spots because they can't turn around.
Sure.
Yeah, those are my concerns. So it seems like they're coming here a lot since I've been on council, and it's the staff's approving it, giving us a 7-0. The planning and zoning is doing a 7-0, and I'm sitting up here being the only one that's probably going, no, I don't like that. So I'm just wondering how off the cusp I am on what direction everybody.
Yes, the staff just presents the case as the code is there. They do make no recommendation. They're coming to
what they do.
No, it's the Planning and Zoning Commission in a case like this. So they're making a recommendation of 7-0. But regardless of the work the Planning and Zoning Commission's done, which is amazing work, they do really great things. It's this body that approves it. And so if the council makes that decision that there's going to be a code change for a particular parcel or for a block, for example, that's on us. So
right. And a lot of times I think what I'm trying to do is just to educate the way it used to be in the past.
Sure.
This is what we were meant to do. And there was a reason for it, which was a great reason. But anyhow, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Councilmember Diaz.
Just for a quick clarification, what we just said. But at the planning and zoning meetings, the staff does give a recommendation to the planning and zoning. Mm-hmm. They say, we recommend approval, we recommend not approval. I mean, they just say that's verbatim.
With conditions through the plan review process.
Correct. Okay. All right.
But the Planning and Zoning Commission then would make
Exactly.
Yes.
Appreciate it. And a quick question, Trevor. So the it's 8-foot fence. Are we looking at rolls of turf that's going to be sticking 2 feet over? Is that what the reason for the 8-foot fence?
Yeah. So staff's reason for the 8-foot wall is, a 10-foot wall would look more like a castle. And then their storage is going to be going in and out. So it's not like it's going to be a 10-foot solid storage height. There's going to be breakups in there just as they roll over material. So the 8-foot wall is what we figured would cover most of it, with some pop-ups here and there.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any additional questions or comments from members of the council? All right, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item? If so, just make your way to the podium and state your name for the record. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to council for any additional discussion or possible motion.
Mayor?
Yeah, Councilmember Dolan?
Motion?
Please.
I move to adopt ordinance number 25-1366, approving the plan development rezone and general development plan of 2415 and 2425 Kiowa Boulevard North, tract 2182, block 8, lots 1 and 2, from limited commercial North Kiowa Overlay District to limited commercial North Kiowa Overlay Plan Development District, to increase the allowed outdoor storage height from 6 feet to 10 feet and to allow the outdoor storage area to exceed the area of the primary building with conditions for code compliance.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Dolan, a second from Councilmember Moses. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Item 7.2 is ordinance number 25-1367, approving a rezone of 720 Enterprise Drive, track 141, amended block 7, lot 1, at 1977 Acoma Boulevard West, track 144, amended block 2, lot 4, 2007 and 2013 Chaparral Drive, track 2199, block 1, lots 1 through 3, 15.29 acres from General Commercial District C2, Light Industrial District, and Limited Multiple Family District to Public Lands and Facilities District. Mr. Gilbert.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. The subject property, which I have up on the screen now, is 15.29 acres, consisting of multiple parcels addressed at 720 Enterprise Drive, 1977 Macomb Boulevard West, and 2013 Chaparral Drive. And all are owned and or used by the Mojave Community College, now known as Mojave College, for their educational activities. Zoning map. The subject property consists of 5 separate pieces of land owned by Mojave College, most with buildings on them, and are spread out over multiple zoning districts, each with different development standards. And as you can see on the overhead, that would be R3, which is limited multiple family, LI light industrial, and C2 general commercial. Combining all of its properties into a single public lands and facilities zone will permit better decision-making on college improvements in the future with consistent development standards. General plan map. The requested zoning is in conformance with the underlying land use categories, and all the categories I previously mentioned going to the public facility zoning would be consistent with the underlying CMU, which is commercial mixed use, and the public land use categories, which you see up on the screen. On July 16, 2025, the Planning Commission voted 7-0 to recommend approval of this rezone. There are no conditions for code compliance, as this is a standard rezoning request. It is not a planned development request. Mr. Mayor, that's all I have on this particular item. I'll answer any questions you and the council may have.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Are there questions from members of the council for Mr. Gilbert on this item? All right, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item? If so, just make your way to the podium and state your name for the record. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. I would like to thank Mojave College and their team for working with the city to bring this together. I think that if this rezone passes this evening, that it gives more certainty to the neighborhood. Again, most of this is already developed with buildings on the campus, but because it does go across multiple different zoning designations, I think it'll be much clearer, obviously, for the future. Does any members of the council have any questions or comments, or we'll entertain a motion? Yeah, Councilmember Koch? Motion. Thank you.
I move to adopt ordinance number 25-1367, approving a rezone of 720 Enterprise Drive, 1977 Acoma Boulevard West, and 2007 and 2013 Chaparral Drive from General Commercial District, Light Industrial District, and Limited Multifamily District to Public Lands and Facilities District.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Koch. We have a second from Councilmember Campbell. Councilmember Koch, can you hit the, thank you. All right, any additional comments? We're ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Item 7.3 is resolution number 25-3867, granting a variance from City Code Section 13.16.050 regarding lot planning for 2142 Rudolph Drive, Tract 136, Block 7, Lot 25 and 28A, and 2130 Burke Drive, Tract 136, Block 7, Lot 24, 1.4 acres to permit the creation of a through lot. Mr. Gilbert.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is not a normal application that you see on a regular basis. This is a request for a subdivision code variance. The subject property is 1.4 acres, consisting of 3 current combined parcels addressed at 2142 Rudolph Drive with the main house on the property and 2130 Burke Drive. And I'm going to use the mouse to kind of show where that is. There's a dividing line right there. So this whole property here is the existing with the house up here, and this is the flag lot they're looking to add. Now, this parcel was formerly a flag lot. Let me go to zoning. The subject properties and the entire surrounding neighborhood is residential estate zoned. Then move on to the site plan. The intent of the subdivision code is to maintain open space corridors down side and rear lot lines and to permit corner lots to have circle drives or vehicular driveway access from both adjacent streets. The intent is not to have lots passing through blocks between streets blocking these open space corridors and thus not having a rear building setback. The original lot layout of this block contains 2 flag lots that sit in the middle of a ring of bordering lots on all sides that creates a hole in a donut situation. This configuration allows the flag lots to be tied to surrounding lots and still maintain the open space corridor rear building setback intent of the subdivision code. And let me go back one slide here to kind of show, or two, to kind of show what I mean by that. If you look down this line of rear yards right here that goes past these lots, that maintains that open space down the backs of these lots. These flag lots were infill for a piece of land which, if you look at the subdivision design, the block design, they're pretty much back to back in a lot of these areas. But here there was leftover land. They filled them with flag lots. So that view isn't broken by what the applicant's proposing because that's still maintained along this line and then along this line right here. As this is a unique situation, the variance application was filed to address it and combine the remaining flag lot with the currently existing combined parcel. And as you can see on here, this is the existing flag lot right here, the original lot right here, and then along this edge right here was an additional piece that the owner had purchased from this neighbor at some point in the past. So there's 3 lots combined here right now, and then this is the parcel they're looking to add back here. So one of the side effects of this is by combining this lot with the rest of the lots that they have, that removes the ability for this flag lot to enjoy the benefit of an entire single family home with all its accessory buildings. It becomes only eligible to host either open space or accessory buildings for this owner, which of course have additional limitations to them over having a full-size house here. So let's see here. Let me advance one more slide. With all that said, staff does have conditions for code compliance. And these conditions are: number 1, the lot combination shall be completed and recorded with Mojave County prior to the city's issuance of any permits or approvals related to the new lot in this resolution. Number 2, maximum excuse me, maximum grade based upon the lot combination survey attached as Exhibit A, which is also the site plan that I just showed, is assigned at 88 feet for the, and that's based off the 101 marker, for the original boundary area of Lot 24. And number 3, side yard setbacks for the original boundary area of Lot 24 shall be 10 feet high shall be 10 feet on the 2 side yards. Let me go back one to show what that is. That's this side yard, this side yard. The front will get absorbed once the lots are combined, so that goes away there. And that's lot 24 right here, the piece being added. And then number 4, maximum building height permitted shall be 30 feet, because it is an RE zone, above the maximum grade of 88 feet for the original boundary area of lot 24. Mr. Mayor, the applicant is present, who is a representative of the owner of the property, if you have any questions for them. And I'll answer any questions you or the council may have.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Are there any questions, members of the council, for Mr. Gilbert or the applicant? Yeah, Councilmember Diaz.
Mr. Gilbert, just for clarification for everyone to know, so on number 4, the maximum building height permitted shall be 30 feet above. That's already allowed in residential estate zoning.
That is correct. It's important to point out, if a house were built there, they would be able to benefit from the 101 marker up at the top of the access drive. And so that would be a 131 max height. Whereas based off the 88 feet that we're setting, which is the average height at the bottom of that flag lot, the max height would be approximately close to 20 feet lower.
Correct. And this required a neighborhood meeting or
no, sir, it does not. This is not subject to the development code.
Okay.
It's in chapter 13.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments from members of the council for Mr. Gilbert or the applicant? All right, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item? If so, just make your way to the podium and state your name for the record. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to council for any additional discussion or possible motion.
Here.
Yeah, Councilmember Diaz.
Make a motion.
Please.
I move to adopt resolution 25-3867, granting a variance from city code section 13.16-050 regarding lot planning for 2142 Rudolph Drive and 2130 Burke Drive to permit the creation of a through lot.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Diaz and a second from Councilmember Moses. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Item 7.4 is a professional services agreement for arc flash study and implementation project with electrical safety specialist, Dr. Kimmelton.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We are asking you to consider awarding a professional service agreement for an arc flash study and implementation project to electrical safety specialists. The purpose of this is that the National Fire Protection Association and the National Electric Code require that all electrical cabinets within the city have clear labeling and identification of possible hazards and protection boundaries, as well as the required personal protective equipment that's required by OSHA when working on or around the electrical cabinet. And this project is intended to bring us into compliance with those regulations and with OSHA regulations. I've asked Mr. Hart to tag team me here, and he has a very brief presentation to kind of give you some idea of what an arc flash study is.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Mayor and City Council. I am the humble assistant today. Well, I do have there we go. So this is the arc flash study and implementation project, a professional services contract. As a reminder, the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, and the National Electric Code, the NEC, require that all electrical cabinets have clear labeling and identification of possible hazards and production boundaries, as well as a required level of personal protection equipment, PPE, when working around an electrical cabinet. This picture demonstrates something good. We have a city worker at a cabinet performing their duties safely. This picture is not good. So if this particular city employee does not have the proper grounding and if the device is not labeled properly so that he knows or she knows how to approach this, it can result in this situation. The scope of the contract basically is a variety of tasks. Task 1 is on-site data collection at 150 plus sites that are spread across the city, which includes the airport, the city hall, fire department, parks and rec, police department, lift stations, booster stations, as well as others. So it covers a wide variety of sites, a wide variety of departments. The task 2 is they're going to be doing a system modeling of single line drawings for each so that we understand at each site the electrical components there and the line diagrams. Task 3, there'll be a label creation and application. That'll be very important when our city workers go into these sites for their protection. And then task 4 will be a delivery of reports and the single line drawings. The anticipated completion, should the council choose to award this contract, would be May of 26. So the contractor ESSS is ready to go and able. The contract itself costs $224,200. I did want to highlight the label, which is a very important part of this. This is the standard label that our city employees will see as they enter into each site. It'll have the arc flash and shock hazards title. It'll have the protection boundary. It'll have the recommended at a minimum PPE, so they'll know what's required. In this case, AR face shield and balaclava and gloves and things such as that, as well as it'll tell them the shock hazard, the glove class, limited approach, and such. So it'll be a very valuable tool for our city employees as they enter into the sites. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. And Dr. Kimbleton, do you have anything to add? Or
Nothing, just we'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
are there any questions for Dr. Kimbleton or Mr. Hart?
I used to be an electrician and I have a really cool labor maker. Can I go out and do this and save the city some money?
No.
No? We say no to all the fun stuff, but okay.
Yeah, Councilmember Diaz.
So is this, the question I've been getting from some citizens on this, is this arc flash study something that has to be done because it's a new regulation, or we had it in the past?
No, sir. We had this study done approximately 5 years ago. Every 3 years, you're supposed to have an update of the study. And so this is to bring us back into compliance with the original study that was conducted.
Okay, this is something, not to put Chief Palafas on the hot seat. This is something that the fire department's not able to do for us without spending the $200,000.
Unfortunately, no. One, it's a very labor-intensive project that has to occur.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any additional questions from members of the council? All right, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item? If so, just make your way to the podium and state your name for the record. It's seeing none. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back to council for any additional discussion or possible motion.
Your motion?
Councilmember Moses?
Yeah, I move to approve the professional services agreement with engineering safety specialists for the arc flash study and implementation project in the amount of $224,200.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Moses, a second from Councilmember Koch. Is there any additional discussion? All right, we're ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Item 7.5 is professional services agreement for collection of Lake Havasu City Municipal Airport landing fees with Vector Airport Systems, LLC. Good evening, Mr. Kane.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Yes, today we are here to ask for consideration of a professional services agreement with Vector Airport Systems for the collection of landing fees. This landing fee has been in place, S250, for several numerous years. I looked through the records best I could find back to 2011 was the last time or the first time it was updated that I could find. And then 2016, we made a series of updates from $1 to $1.10, $1.14, $1.20, and then last year we increased it to $1.50. And that's on a commercial, private, air carrier, and corporate aircraft. One of the key elements of this is it's based on max landing gross weight, and it would be for aircraft as currently approved in the fee structure for aircraft over 12,500 pounds, which are considered large aircraft. This technology that Vector uses is based on automatic dependent surveillance broadcast system, which is a technology that's been around for quite a while, that allows the tracking of aircraft, not just with air traffic control, but also between each other. And so the aircraft can tell where they are in proximity to other aircraft that are also like equipped. As I think the council knows, one of the FAA's grant assurances is that the airport, the council, establishes reasonable rates and fees to make the airport as self-sustaining as possible within the, obviously, the operating boundaries that the airport exists in. And so this is an effort to collect a fee that we have not been collecting, that I can find, except occasionally. The Havasu Air Center did help us collect landing fees during the Super Bowl, which was very helpful. That was a fairly specific request that I had for the Havasu Air Center, and they helped us out greatly on that. So that was much appreciated. Other than that, we just collect the landing fees from our two cargo carriers, and that's a habitual agreement relationship with allows us, we know they're there, we know when they're coming and going, so it allows us to collect those fees. They essentially self-report. They had modeling. They could go back and look at the records for all the activity going into Lake Havasu for the last 12 months. We did June of 24 to May of 25. And at the current rate of $1.50, we would have got about $18,000 from that effort. We did, as I mentioned in the council communication, dividing this up with getting a collection mechanism established, and then moving into the fall when we would look at the normal master fee schedule adjustment cycle. We would likely propose increasing the fees to be more consistent with airports like Lake Havasu. And we would lay that out just like we do any other market study. A good example of where this additional revenue would go is basically the airfield maintenance. And a good example of that would be things like seal coating the runway. We have that in the runway in the budget this year. That was a direct request to the budget, as opposed to the airport building up in the airport fund the ability to pay for something like that. The seal coating of the runway in the taxiway alpha system, which is very important, obviously, for the preservation of the facility. And that's it. We would like your consideration for this agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Kane. Are there questions from members of council? Yeah, Councilmember Dolan.
So I have a couple questions and I'll make some statements. So with the model that we were talking about where we would, bring it in, with the modeling that we have, was the Empire and America flights, are they included in that number? So the 18,000 you're talking about, are they included on that? Or is that additional on top of what we're already collecting from them?
We excluded the Empire and
in those numbers.
We excluded them. So that would be an additional approximately $4,000.
Okay. So thank you. So my biggest concern on this is it's not a fee, it's not a billing issue. And if we want to have the billing issue, I think we should have the fee billing issue in the fall when we do the whole fee schedule. To me, this is a billing by a company. So to me, this is a huge safety issue. So basically what it is the system of ADSB was created for safety. So when I'm flying and somebody else is flying, we can physically see each other. It's not required in our area, but most planes do have it and use it nowadays. So what this company basically does is they go after airports and they say, hey, you guys are leaving money on the table. We can go out and get it for you. And basically all they do is they mine the data to pull out the information to then send bills to people. My problem also, so we were basically using a system that was designed for safety, for billing, and to collect fees. So if we want to collect fees, we can definitely have that conversation if we want to send someone out and collect fees. But I'm 100% against using this company because they're using a safety system against us. So here's what happens. If we can do this, we can change it down to 5,000 pounds or whatever. You simply turn off your ADSB when you come into the area of Havasu and you don't pay the fee. And our whole system is based on that. But now no one can see me and I can't see other people. So I am 100% against this. And I hope, we're going to have a lot of people in the audience. And so they're going to probably say the exact same things I am. To me, this is a safety issue and it's completely the wrong way. Like I said, if we want to collect fees and we can have that fee discussion, because I know that's a separate issue. The other issue I do kind of have with this is and we can discuss it when we discuss fees, is it does say commercial, it says commercial and cargo. And when this came up in agenda setting, it was commercial and cargo. And I was assured, no, it's 12.5 commercial and cargo. But that 18,000 that we're talking about in additional revenue is including private. So anybody flying under Part 91. So the code, the fees. So before we start collecting these fees aggressively, if that's what we're going to do outside of not using this company, I think we should have that discussion about the fee schedule. And then the same people can come back and we can have those fees. And because I'm all for, market value and what we're doing with other airports, but this company, and like I said, I think too, you fly over an airport and, you landed. No, I didn't. And then you got months and months of arguing with this company that literally just sends you a bill. They're not reputable in the industry that I'm in with AOPA. And I know that Congress is even getting in the middle of this too, because like I said, they're using the system the wrong way. And, I don't think we approached them. I'm pretty sure they probably approached us because that's what they do. So I'm 100% no on this. And I hope I can have that support with council because to me, this is just the wrong way of doing it, mixing safety with fees. So. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Dolan. Yeah, Councilmember Diaz.
Yeah, I understand there's legislation even through federal government that's trying to ban using the safety equipment for fee collecting. Have they mentioned that to you, this company? We are aware
that that's being considered.
Yeah, so I concur with 100% with Mr. Dolan says he's the pilot up here. I'm not, so.
Mayor, I agree as well. And I think there's an easier way to get the fees and you can go out to your stakeholders because the 19% is a lot of money on $100,000. If that's where the fees are going to go, once we go to fee schedules, that's $19,000 that one of the local stakeholders could do fees through fuels. I understand other airports are getting fees a different way. Obviously we have been getting fees. And the concern too is where this number came in. 1 minute I'm being told we're not raising any fees, but right here it says after paying the Vector 18,000. But after the industry standards during the 2026 master fee scheduling revision cycle, and it's estimated that the landing fee revenues will potentially increase over $100,000. That's a 5 times revenue that we're predicting. That all makes me very nervous right now. And I agree with Councilmember Dolan.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from members of the council? All right. This is a public hearing. If you would like to address it, we did have 2 folks sign up. So we're going to start with the 2 that signed up. Bradley Pinnell first. And then we'll go to Brian Schultz right after that. And then we'll open up to anyone else that wanted to address the council on this item. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Council, Mayor Sheehy, Vice Mayor Lynn, and the entire City Council. Thank you for having us here today to speak on this. Councilmember Dolan, thank you so much for your perspective on this. It's great to have a pilot-to-pilot conversation here. I'd like to just hit on a few points about Vector, including the current House and Senate bills that you're already well aware of, Councilmember Diaz. Safford Airport is a lot like Lake Havasu City. It exists at the other corner of the state. It's a very large stopover point for people transiting the country. I fly a 1963 Cessna 205. I also fly my dad's Cessna 175. One of them is ADSB equipped. One of them is not. But Safford serves a lot of the same purpose for transient aircraft that Havasu does. It's that perfectly located fuel stop between 2 major cities. And that brings in a lot of economy to the local restaurants, local fuel flowage fees, et cetera. Safford actually hired Vector on about 9 months ago. It went live, and it first went live with the 12.5 and above, and suddenly that creeped down to 4,000, and then suddenly it creeped down to everything. and their landing fees went up excessively almost instantly. I'd like to read a few comments from the 4Flight app, which is basically our navigation app that we can read comments on airports on, starting 9 months ago when this was enacted. Let's see. Great cross-country spot to cooler temperatures in Arizona, ruined by a landing fee. The landing fees have now scratched this airport off my list. I was going to go to the air show today in Safford, but now I will not go. Take a stand and nip this crap in the bud. If we let this happen, the true end of general aviation will follow. Airspace user fees are next. Started charging landing fees, taking my business to other and better airports nearby. Recommend boycotting this place. So sad that SAD, the identifier for Safford, has now imposed a landing fee, even for us little single piston engine Part 91 GA people. Really, Safford? Recommend everyone boycott this business and take your business to one of the other several airports in southern Arizona until they have a chance to rethink. Recently started charging landing fees using an automated system that takes your photo and mails you a bill. I won't be back. There are other options for fuel in the area. Suddenly, that goes on for several months. I could read all these comments, but they're all available on the 4Flight app, and I can provide those to you if you'd like at some point. But we get to 3 weeks ago. The airport is no longer utilizing automated landing fee collection. All landing fees are now billed by the FBO at the time of service and can be waived with the purchase of fuel. Vector has a reputation in this country of overbilling, finding phantom bills. I was just speaking with one of my friends who owns an aerial survey company in Maine. They do nationwide surveying. He's also a captain for American Airlines, the 30-year-old overachiever. His name's Cody Anderson. They have Bar Harbor, Maine has also used Vector, and they are now funneling traffic into Old Town Airport, which is about 15 miles away. The fuel's more expensive at Old Town, but they're avoiding the landing fees by using that. Cody also has a fleet of 10 Cessna 172s that he does aerial survey with. They've been harassing him over a $7 landing fee in 2018 in Illinois on an airplane that he didn't even own at the time. He owned it for a short period of time between then and there. But the FAA takes so long to update the registration, he's still fighting them. They billed him in 2023 for that 2018 landing, and they're still fighting him and threatening collection action against him. He had sold the airplane at this point. So, coupled all that with the current pending House and Senate legislation, Vector's ability to just absolutely decimate an airfield, I strongly support the downvoting of this motion, and I thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Schultz?
Good evening, Mayor Sheehy and council members. My name is Brian Schultz. I've been a flight instructor here since 2009 and own a few small businesses and also a corporate pilot, so I fly throughout the country. And definitely from the ADSB side of things, I agree with Councilmember Dolan and I appreciate his input. That's really the safety concern. The landing fee, if it's on the docket and it's something we should be charging, we should definitely find a way to do that. If that's what we need to raise money for the airport to be self-sufficient, you can't really argue with that. But to encourage with the mixed use of airplanes we have from military to training to corporate to freight, it doesn't mix very well if they can't see each other. And encouraging people to shut that off. As he mentioned, as far as Safford shutting theirs off, you look at airports, like I went to Sedona for lunch today. It's a beautiful airport, kind of a similar community to ours as far as resort style. They don't charge anything because they want you to come in. We've looked at some studies and it looks like about $250 is about what the average plane brings in or spends in the community. So to exchange where that is, you'd have to look and see on the size of the airplane. But from a safety standpoint, that ADSB was definitely not designed for that. That House bill that they were referring to is S-2175 that was brought in June. And it surely will probably get voted on, I'm guessing, within the next year. And I'm pretty confident with AOPA, who is the lobbying outfit for all of aviation, will get that shut down. Another airport that's kind of similar to us is Heber, Utah. They had it, they shut it down. It wasn't going very well. For everywhere I travel and fly, same kind of thing. We get bills from them. We'll avoid airports, not because of the landing fee. It's the bill. I'll go to Catalina any day, which I think charges $35 or $55 to land there. But you go in and you pay right then and there. It's done and over with. There's no surprise. You know when you're going in there what you're doing. Getting something 30 to 45 days later is a pretty bad taste. To lose 20% of what you're collecting, pretty bad taste. There's definitely better ways to do this and still collect if it's going to be the over 12.5 that's already on your guys' schedule. The other thing is, why was this not brought up during the airport talk? I know we disbanded the airport board and I understand all of that, but these are the kind of things that during an airport talk would be really great so we could have interaction and not waste valuable time of the council on things that, hey, we have a little education here. A lot of us have flown throughout the country. We've dealt with Vector. We know what they are. I think a lot of people aren't against the fees. They're just against the way they're collecting the fees. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Anyone else that would like to address the council? Please just make your way to the podium and state your name for the record.
Good afternoon. My name is Emiliano Torres. I'm a resident, and I read about this issue in the newspaper, and it was $1.50 for a landing fee. And I'm thinking, what's the big deal for $1.50? But I'm I think I heard something that's based on weight. So it would help the general public to know what the fee is. When you say $1, $1.50, $7.50, that seems like pocket change that I'm not worried about. Maybe the fee is much more significant than that, the actual cost. And if it is, I think the public's entitled to know some kind of idea what the cost is. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Kane, do you want to address the fee structure? So it's $1.50 per 1,000 pounds?
Right. It's, I could. So, aircraft over 12,500 pounds are considered large aircraft. So an aircraft, let's say a corporate jet, could have a max gross landing weight, let's say, of about 49,000 pounds. So 49,000 pounds would result in about a $73 landing fee.
Thank you, Mr. Kane. If you could please state your name for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. My name is Ray Gillespie. I've been a resident homeowner here for about 28 years and retired airline captain for 35 years for a major airline. And anyway, I finally bought my dream airplane after I retired here. And I just heard about this just 2 days ago about, we're trying to get $18,000. I had a couple of just quick questions is, if we're looking for, to me, it's a minuscule amount. I understand, like, we have a shade port over where the fuel trucks park, and it was proposed a while back to put like a power wash for airplanes to pull in, which a lot of airports have. You put your quarter in and power wash your airplane. I guess that was turned down. That would probably generate quite a bit of money. I know our military comes in. That's great. And they have a little room over there that the city, we pay for. It's air conditioned and there's all kind of little, food things, which maybe we could put a charter business in there and generate some income out of that way. And the other thing, Mr. Dolan, I just want to reiterate about the safety of ADSB. And he did mention it, and maybe it kind of went over your head a little bit, but the guys are going to start turning this off. I've talked to a lot of airline pilots from around, and everybody is against this program. And I know it's going, to Congress, and they're going to vote on this, and who knows which way that's going to go. But it just doesn't look good. But this ADSB, it was designed as a safety thing, not a tracking thing. I mean, a guy can go do a missed approach and never touch the ground, and he gets a bill. So anyway, that's all. I only got a minute here. So that's my 2 cents, and thank you for giving me the time.
Thank you, Mr. Gillespie.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. The question I have is that I heard people saying in regards to the billing that people have been billed from years ago before Vector even started. And I was curious as to how you would go about collecting fees from the past, why they would even do that to now. Like, if you weren't collecting those fees then, why are you collecting them for then, now? And then, well, you already said about the whole Vector system
I can explain that. So that's the issue with Vector is, like I said, because it's not a real billing system. It's not like it's set up. It's basically they're getting their information from data mining this whole system to, hey, you landed here, you landed here, you landed here, timestamp, all this stuff. And then they're doing the same thing with the FAA. There's this number, and then they comb the FAA's website and all the stuff and pull all the registration information off of them. But because that's so delayed sometimes, maybe the information that they're pulling, it's like me all of a sudden, I'm going to give you a speeding ticket and I see you drive fast. I'm going to take a picture of your car and I'm going to search your license plate on the internet. And I found out that the previous owner owned it, and I'm going to send him your bill. I'm not the police. I'm not sending bill, but that's what they're literally doing. They're that middleman pulling it from all these pulling it unofficially through a system that's not what it was made for. It wasn't made for billing that way. And so that's why there's the issues with it, because it wasn't designed for that. But they're sending bills to kind of the wrong people because, well, when we got that came through, that's what the information I had that said you owned the airplane at the time. Well, I didn't own it. But that's what they found, and they bill it and they're done. So if that explains it.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Dan Shane. I'm a resident here and a airplane owner. Just want to mention that it's been overlooked a little bit that ADSB is not actually required in this area. So just for starters there. And a lot of planes, like other people mentioned, it's easy to just turn off. For example, my plane, it's literally a switch on my dash, and that's it. And like others have said, it's not the fee that's the issue, it's the mining of ADSB data. Like most pilots don't have a problem paying fees. Like Ryan was talking about $35 at Catalina, not a big deal, don't care. But if they use Vector as a $5 fee, I wouldn't go there. Thanks.
Was it Mr. Chanham? Chain. Okay, thank you.
Evening, y'all. Randy Peterson, been a resident here since 2012. This whole Vector thing, I've heard about it 2 days ago. It took me 5 minutes on a www machine. I Googled it. Nothing but bad stuff about Vector. I haven't seen one good thing about it. They say $1.50 today. It'll be $10 next week, just like the airport manager said. It won't affect me, but it will affect everybody else, many other people. There are lists out there on FlightAware of airports that have this company, this Vector, and people avoid them. People will avoid Lake Havasu City, and it will directly affect local businesses and trickle-down effects from that. The increasing fees it happens, but they do it exorbitantly and routinely. Safety issue, paramount. Being a pilot, I'm a commercial captain, a 767, also have a little airplane. I wrench on it myself, getting dirty. The House and Senate is taking care of this. Hopefully they throw it in the trash. Only good thing about Vector is they're salesmen. They could sell sand to Arabs and ice cubes to Eskimos, and they'll probably try to sell it to y'all. Throw them out the door. Don't even listen to them. If the city council really wants to help the city as far as making money, there are 16 shade ports out there currently at $197 a month. That yields $3,152 monthly. 39 tie downs at $70 a month. That's $2,730. There are 146 people waiting for a hangar. There are 74 people waiting for a shade port. Take those tie downs, make them a shade port. So you take the 39 tie downs and the 16 existing shade ports, there's 55. There's $10,900 a month that would get in there. And just like across the street, see, all the city buildings have shade. What's on top of the shade? Solar. Cover them all with solar panels. You want to make some more money? There you're going to pay your electric bills and sell the electricity back to the electric companies, which, maybe you make some money on that. A little bit of money. But vote this thing down. don't even talk to Vector. They are no good. It takes 5 minutes, and let me know if you find anything good about them. There's nothing good about them. They belong in the garbage. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Mr. Peterson.
Good afternoon, Gabriel Suarez. Thank you for having this for everybody here. A couple of things I wanted to address. If it's a money issue, there's so many other ways the airport can make money. Because for Vector to charge almost 20%, not one penny of that will be going to the city, first of all. Secondly, it is a safety issue. Thirdly, most importantly, I did almost 30 years in law enforcement, worked the LAPD, retired here about 4 years ago. And I don't know if you all know or remember the intersection, the photo cameras that went all over the city of Los Angeles. About 20 years ago, it started. They had a trial program. I think it may have lasted 7 years. I was with the city for 30 years. It was the biggest waste, and that city wastes a lot of money. But it was the biggest waste because all the money went to the companies that installed the cameras and all the companies that processed the information. None of that money, other than the citation, went towards the city. And we spoke about a safety issue. There were audits made, and the reason all the cameras came down throughout the city was because traffic collisions after the implementation of those cameras actually increased at those intersections because people were finding or trying to find ways to avoid the cameras, to avoid the intersections, and because of the additional traffic collisions, a lot of course, people were suing the city because they considered it a TC by influence, traffic collision by the influence of the cameras. And because of that, very shortly, we found out that the city no longer made money, but they actually lost money due to the lawsuits. Just my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Would anyone else like to address the city council on this item?
Mr. Mayor, Council, Rob, Jim, thank you so much for what you said. It's great to obviously have you on council and talk about this, but yeah, I think the thing that can't be iterated enough in this is that, yeah, guys are going to be 10, 15 miles out and we're all looking at our screens. We can all see each other. I can see where a guy is in the traffic pattern. I can see a guy that's coming down the lake. I can see a guy coming from Bullhead. I can see a guy coming from Parker. I can assure you that when they get into that 10 or 12 mile ring, those planes are going to drop off. Boom, 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 boom. And then literally put yourself in your car, put a bag over your head and drive and hope that the guy next to you tells you where he is exactly so that you don't run into him. That's what ADSB does. So not everybody has ADSB out or ADSB in, but most of us do now. You'll find gentlemen with, pilots with older planes, older technology that don't, or you'll find guys then once they find out that they're going to pay to land here. And it literally is that easy. It is click, my ADSB is off. You don't see me anymore and I'm not paying you. This isn't a money thing for any of us. Like if I had to pay, I wouldn't want to, but if I had to pay $50 every time I landed my plane, but I knew I could do it safely, I wouldn't care. Like, I don't know, short of giving Cindy a raise, she's amazing, and having her watch the planes land. I don't know why we can't go to some sort of even just to collect something where you get Havasu Air Center to help possibly, or we have an honor system where there's a go pay your ticket over here booth, like when you go to a parking lot in other major cities and people pay it. Heck, if we got 5-10 grand a year from that, that'd be great. But you see a lot of flight schools come in here. They're all ADSB. They're not going to come in here. They come here, they do touch and goes. They come here, they eat at Hangar 24. They come here, they get fuel. The revenue might be small, but again, we're still like 150 planes a day that land and take off out of this airport. That's a lot of little pieces. Vector's going to take 20%. How many of those people are going to stop coming here because of that? And not to beat a dead horse, but I mean, come on, guys. If you guys want to make money, dude, build hangars. What are we waiting for? 3 years ago, we had our meeting. I mean, you could make hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can make more money in hangars in the next 24 months than you could in the next probably 10 years with Vector. There's so much airport property available. And we're all bugging the heck out of poor Rob. Like, dude, let's go. So we're waiting for hangars. If you guys need money, call us. He's got my phone number. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jim.
Rob, what's your last name? Thank you. All right. Would anyone else like to address the council on this item?
My name's Dave Guthmuller. I'm a resident here in Lake Havasu. I'm a tenant at the airport. And like probably most of the guys back here that own airplanes, I have spent thousands and thousands of dollars putting ADSB in my 2 airplanes. I live under the traffic pattern at the airport. I live in North Point. The last thing I want to see anybody do is turn their ADSB off and have a mid-air collision and dump a couple airplanes into a neighborhood. That's bad news. I had a bunch of other stuff prepared. You guys all got my emails I sent to you. But vote this thing down. It's bad. It compromises safety, and that's the number one thing. So, thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Richard Davidson. My wife and I are both pilots. We both own hangars. We both own airplanes. And I have been flying in and out of here since we were on the island as an airport. So I have a spiel written up that takes 5 minutes. I'm going to cut it short. Everybody has covered everything. This is a bad deal, and I'm going to encourage you to vote this down. Build hangars at this airport. There is a demand for hangars. You all know it. It's been kicked down the road for so many years. You've had many bids on this, and every bid is pushed away for some reason. We need hangars.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the city council on this item?
Good evening. My name is Sandra Davidson, and I'm Richard's wife. We fly a lot. We fly into different airports around the country, and the ADSB system has been wonderful. Seeing airplanes in the air is incredibly difficult. We make a game of it. You know, I figured if the airplane is within a mile, you probably can see it. But outside of that, it's really, really hard. And so the ADSB system does allow us to pick up these planes that you just can't visually see. The fact that you have to pay when the ADSB vector picks you up on the ADSB means that people are going to turn it off. And I know we can turn it off. We have a switch, just like everybody else does, that allows us to switch it off. And I think that's going to really impact safety in the airspace around Havasu. The pattern is over the neighborhoods, and so there isn't a good ending anywhere. So thank you very much, and please vote this down.
Yeah, thank you.
Mayor, Council, thank you. My name is Galen Marks. I just have a couple of little things. Our airport is unique in that we only have one side of the runway that we use for our downwind legs. We have airplanes encroaching up on each other just by normal pattern. It's kind of a dangerous airport. No ADSB is very dangerous. So, and you can't see airplanes encroaching upon you when you're flying. So you do rely heavily on the ADSB. If it's shut off, it's going to be very hazardous. I suppose if a plane crashes, lands on a house, somebody's going to be liable. I don't know if it'd be the city, Vector, who it would be, person shutting the switch off, but yeah, vote it down. Thank you.
Mr. Marks, what was your first name?
Galen.
Galen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to address the city council on this item? All right, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back to the council. So the item that's in front of us right now is a professional services agreement for the collection of these fees with Vector. So it's not a code change. If the council has no interest in doing business with Vector or moving forward, we don't have to make a motion. If there's no motion made, the professional services agreement's not adopted and we move on. Councilmember Dolan, thank you for your insight on this item. Thank you to all of the users that have testified this evening. I also think that we need to have two separate conversations. So there's a safety component, which we should not impact at all from a fee collection standpoint. If fees are important to the airport and to our operation, we can have that discussion during the master fee schedule that we have in the future. I don't support moving forward with Vector either. I don't know if any other council members have any comments they would like to make, or if there's a motion. Councilmember Dolan?
For the city attorney, can we make a motion to not approve? Can we make a motion to not approve the professional service agreement so we have a vote? And so maybe other councilors, hey, Lake Havasu turned this down, that there's a vote. So can we symbolically vote no, bring it up for a vote so we can disapprove it?
Yes, you can.
Because I would like to do that. Okay.
Mayor, I have one other question.
Councilmember Campbell, yes.
Okay. I'm confused why we didn't have an airport talk. I mean, this is a big topic is what I'm seeing here. And I'm not an airport expert but we used to have an airport board. Now we don't. Do you know why that was not brought up, or is that true? Did you have any kind of meetings with the airport?
The last airport talk we had was in May. And I believe I may not have mentioned this specifically, but I mentioned that we would be looking this year at ways to increase revenue.
Okay. But not so much the Vector.
Not that specific.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Councilmember Diaz.
I want to say a couple things before I'm glad that Mr. Dolan's going to make the motion. I think he deserves that because he's the expert on this up here. But I want to thank the residents that came out today, because you allow us, when you come out here with your passion and your knowledge of the issue, you're giving us the information we need to make an informed vote. And I really, really appreciate that. So I just want to get that out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yeah, Councilmember Dolan.
Motion?
Please.
I move to not approve the professional service agreement for collecting of landing fees with Vector Airport System, LLC.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Dolan and a second from Councilmember Diaz.
And discussion really quick.
Discussion.
And I just encourage everybody to vote yes. Yes means we are voting no, but I encourage everyone to vote yes and send a message to Vector and those out there that are also trying to fight this. So thank you.
Yes.
I personally am so thankful Jim was here to explain that to us.
Are there any additional comments before we vote? All right, we're ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. All right. And again, thank you for all the citizens and users that engaged in the conversation this evening. Moving on to item 7.6 is bid for the Jamaica Boulevard Improvement Project to Sunland Asphalt and Construction, LLC. Mr. Cummings?
Mayor.
Councilmember Campbell is recusing herself from this item.
Well, good evening. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Tonight I'm presenting to you Jamaica Boulevard Street Improvement Project. Here you'll find a vicinity map, and these are the project limits. So down below on the east side is the Pima Lane, and it's a 2-mile stretch up the hill to Saddleback Drive. So it's a pretty good large stretch of road that's really important to take care of.
Yeah, Mr. Cummings, could you just get a little closer? Sorry about
I'm sorry.
Noise in the back there. So thank you.
Here's a picture of the current condition of Jamaica. This is just a quick snapshot, but this 2-mile stretch looks pretty similar to what you see in this picture. So you're going to see some alligatoring, potholing, a lot of utilities, cuts. and rutting on this road. So here's just a typical milling operation, typically done at night. And you'll have flaggers, you'll have approved traffic control plans, you'll possibly detours, lighting and such. It's a pretty big operation. So like I said, it's typically done at night. Oop, what happened there? Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Project description. This project consists of removing 1.5 inches of asphalt and repaving 2.5 inches of compacted asphalt. The project schedule is 90 days. And the anticipated completion, is December of 2025. The engineer's estimate is $2,734,792. There were 4 great bids that we received. And the lowest bid was $2,022,475 to Sunland Asphalt. The anticipated starting date is the middle of September. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Cummings, for the presentation. Are there questions from members of the council? Yeah, Vice Mayor Lynn, and then we'll move to Councilmember Moses.
Thank you. I just have a quick question. Can you tell me what are the factors used? I believe that road totally needs to be repaid, but I'm just curious what the factors are used in that PCI score.
Yeah.
How do you determine that?
So the PCI score is based on 1 through 100, and this scores at like 90, or excuse me, let me look here. It scores at 59. So we like scores, if we're looking at repaving, resurfacing, below 60, in the 50s and lower. So that's a big factor. We also look at how many cars are moving to and from on these main arterials. Jamaica being one of them that's highly used, and even more so with snowbirds and the influx of traffic coming in. So we look at both those studies to determine which roads we should go tackle.
When I think the question I'm asking is, what are they looking at when they give it that score? Like, are they looking at the wear and tear? Like, what are the factors of that? I don't understand what that is.
Yeah, so I think that if I were to go back to this picture, you'll see that there's a lot of different things that go into this. Bill? Bill's coming in. Okay.
Hi. Bill Young. When we look at the PCIs, we look at raveling, cracking, block cracking, potholing, all those things. Raveling's where the finer sands move away from the larger aggregate. Block cracking is the square cracking. Then you got your vertical cracking that goes all the way across. Patches that have been in for utility cuts, we take all that into effect, tie it into the numbers, and bring it down to the PCI. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Councilmember Moses?
Well, Bill, when will we expect to have the composite, score of every street in Lake Havasu? When will we have all that information?
Last week I got told 2 weeks. It should be over to Street Saver, and then within a couple of weeks it should be to us.
It's very exciting. We'd love to see the results of that.
Very excited about it myself.
Thank you, guys.
Happy birthday, Bill.
And just what my original question, so in the past, I've heard residents complain about either when we mill and fill, there being a gap, or it's either too high above their driveway or too low, just creates unevenness. And in your presentation, it says we're removing 1.5 inches and putting down 2.5 inches. And so if we keep doing that, in the next round where we got a mill and fill, we're going to be up over. I guess I need to be kind of schooled on the ways of road repair.
Okay, I can answer that.
So on the uphill side of the W section and into the radius or curb returns, that's going to be 1.5 inches to blend back in, because we know the side roads are less than the main arterials. And we had cores taken on this road to determine the uphill section and the depth that it should go. So when we talk about 1.5 inches, that would be the tie-ins of the driveways and the curb returns. And then when we start getting to the main arterials below the W section, that'll be 2.5 milled out and a compacted 2.5 put back in. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you. You're welcome.
Are there any additional questions from members of the council?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Dolan?
So I'm a big proponent. I've been frustrated with the way our roads are, because I think a lot of time is we let these contractors just cut into them and then they're not replaced properly. And I know even when they did industrial, I mean, I had to ask at the time, it's like, hey, so that big development that's going next door, are they just going to cut that road open once, you know? And so luckily I asked at the right time and we worked with them and they put in the underground lines to the other side of the street. But, where are we with, I guess my biggest concern is, once again, we're putting $2 million worth of 2-mile roads, and all of a sudden the gas company decides, oh, well, now we want to upgrade those lines and we're just going to dig that up. And so how do we prevent this? Is Unisource, for example, do we work with them to, let them know when we're doing this? So then I guess my question is, can we do like a moratorium on this road for a certain amount of years that nobody can cut into it unless it's an emergency? Because a lot of the problems we have with our roads are the potholes that were created because they sank or they this or they that, and then water gets underneath. And so I really want to protect the new roads with as much bubble wrap as we can. And is there a way we can do that? Or is there something we as a council can do to protect this road? So.
Thank you, Councilmember Dolan. Mr. Cummings, how did we notify the other utilities? And this
we do. We do notify. There's future projects that we're looking at where Unisource or Allo are currently going in, and on Acoma, for instance, and they're putting in their new mains or new services to houses. So they are looped in. And we did give them an opportunity to jump into Jamaica a while ago. They didn't have any reason to go into Jamaica right now. So we do try and do our due diligence to let everybody know ahead of time that that this is going to happen. I'm not sure, because I haven't been here all that long, if we actually have a moratorium or if we do have a moratorium.
Yeah, I think Councilmember Dolan has been very passionate about this for many, many years. And if you would like, you and I can work together and get a future agenda item to discuss what options we have on this front, if that works for you, and we can address it more systematically from that perspective.
Yeah, no, that would be great, just to see what we do as a city. Because like I said, it's do they pay more to cut into a brand new road versus a old road that, so I think it's definitely something, as we talk about hitting Acoma and the goal is Acoma. Well, then do we give them enough time? And okay, by this date, this is when we're going to do Acoma, and any construction should be done also for the neighbors too, that then once that road is down, we don't need to mess with it. And then we hopefully maintain it very well. Of course, there's emergencies and things that happen, but it shouldn't be like, oh, well, we're just going to run a new line here, or, thank you. But I appreciate that.
We'll work together. We'll bring an item for council's consideration on for discussion to see how we want to move forward on that front. Yeah, I'm sorry, Councilmember Campbell, you're recused from this item. So sorry. Yeah.
I'm just going to say contractors agree.
Yeah. All right. Any other comments or questions from members of the council? All right. This is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it to council for any additional discussion or a possible motion.
Mayor, motion.
Councilmember Moses?
Yeah, I move to award the base bid for the Jamaica Boulevard Improvement Project to Sunland Asphalt and Construction, LLC, in the amount of $2,022,475.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Moses. We have a second from Councilmember Dolan. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote.
Motion carries with 6 council members voting aye and 1 council member recusal.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cummings. All right, our final public hearing of the evening is item 7.7, which is our fiscal year 25-26 cooperative purchase of 34 vehicles from various suppliers and refurbishment of 4 police vehicles. Mr. Young?
Good evening again, Mayor and Council. We currently have approximately 575 units in our fleet. That goes from trailers to small equipment like lawnmowers, all the way up to fire engines, ladder trucks, Vector trucks, heavy equipment. And this year we're looking at replacing 34 pieces of those units of the 82 that actually qualify. We do that through a vehicle replacement program of points. We look at 32 points for replacement, which is higher than the average in a vehicle replacement program. But we carry it a little further. This year, if you look at the attachment that was provided for you, we're probably averaging on those 34 vehicles right around 38 points. Each director does do their due diligence to decide what they need and what they can hold off on. And this year we came to a total of about 34 units, including forklifts, 4 refurbishments for the police department. And we're bringing it to you all in one shot so we can get rolling on it. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer that.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Other questions from members of the council? Yeah,
Mr. Mayor.
Marilyn?
You know, I'm not a fan of this process. Mr. Young, I know that it makes procurement much easier for you, but I have a couple questions on some of the vehicles.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me for in Parks and Rec, I understand the park maintenance vehicles, but can you tell me what that Parks and Rec vehicle will be used for?
Can you be specific?
Yeah.
It's item 4377, the 2008 Chevy Uplander going to a Maverick all-wheel drive. It's in the middle of the page.
Okay, the all-wheel drive Maverick is going to the Superintendent Guy Reynolds, and his current truck will be given to the other superintendent.
Recreation superintendent?
Recreation superintendent.
The old one will be?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And in the airport, 2007 Chevy going to a half-ton regular cab. What's that used for?
I believe at the airport they make rounds around the entire airport property. So that goes around the fence lines as well, out off road, and make sure the fence is secure, as well as other duties throughout the airport.
Okay, and DSD, I don't know what that stands for. 2007.
That is probably an inspector's truck, Jeff. But it's going to planning and zoning, and they go out and do inspections and whatnot.
Okay, and then I did ask the mayor about this, but I wonder if we can just touch base a little bit. So we're switching out our Polaris Rangers to Ford Mavericks, and I'm assuming that's our meter readers.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain why we're doing that?
The current Rangers that we're using come in at $31,000 once we outfit them. The Ford Mavericks come in at $33,000. The Rangers carry a 1-year warranty. The Mavericks carry a 3-year, $36,000 bumper to bumper and a 5-year, $60,000 powertrain.
Well, I'm assuming we had the Rangers thinking that was easier for them to do the meter reading. Is this going to make it more challenging using the trucks over the Rangers?
The current Rangers right now, they have to open the door and get in and out. The Mavericks are going to have to do the same thing, so I'm kind of leaving that up to them.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? Councilmember Campbell?
I want to thank you for moving them into the Mavericks. I think when I first got on council, I was worried about a lot of these not Fords, excuse me, your Polarises. First off, the wear and tear on the roads. These Polarises were never meant to be on the road. They're meant to be on the dirt. That's what we always knew. Obviously, we have a Polaris thing on our ride. So there was a lot of conversation about them using that. And then another thing that we were always concerned about is the overall safety of that. If somebody got hit from the back end, this truck, I feel, will be a lot safer for our employees, and they'll probably have air conditioning as well. So it's a really positive direction.
We took the air conditioning out of the Mavericks. I'm kidding.
So thank you for going that.
They come automatically.
I think it's going to be a good look for the city, nice and clean, and keep our employees safe too. Thank you.
Yeah, Councilmember Diaz.
Yeah, I wanted to pinpoint the item that Vice Mayor Lynn mentioned that's 4377, because I was looking at the mileage, 67,000 miles for a 2008, which is, I mean, it's great because the average person drives 12 to 15,000 miles. So that truck should have that 12,000 miles a year, it's 208,000 miles on it. So it only has 67,000 miles. So I'm glad we're going to use it to another superintendent.
Okay.
That makes a lot of fiscal sense. So thank you for doing that.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, Councilmember Dolan.
Mr. Young, I'll start with the good part. Congratulations on your birthday, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
I'm a little disappointed in you. When we did this, every so often you would include pictures of all the vehicles, and I don't see 34 pictures of these vehicles. I'm a little disappointed, but I like things to, I like pictures. So yeah, but it's your birthday, so I'll let you off. You're fine.
Tell you what, next year I'll try to put a little PowerPoint together for you.
All right. Are there any other questions before we open the public hearing? All right. This is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item?
My name's Emiliano Torres. I'm a resident. Concerning the 4 police vehicles that are being refurbished, I hope they're being refurbished by a local source. I don't see why we would have to farm that out to somebody else. We have the capabilities in town. You look around town, you see all these hot rods. You see our boat manufacturers, your boat trailer manufacturers. We have welding shops. We have mechanics. There's nothing magic about refurbishing a police car. I can understand the difficulty of refurbishing a fire truck because that's rather unique. But a police car, it's common. We have the capability in town. Let's bring that business in town. We can sometimes talk about having an economic development committee. That's a moneymaker. We could bring that effort in town and not just do it for us, but for other communities. Why are we giving this business, and I'm guessing here, to some out-of-town source, probably Vegas, because I think that's who did our fire engines or some of our past vehicles. Why are we giving the business to Las Vegas when we could keep it in-house? And possibly could have those people who, communities that are asking for this service, they could be spending their money here instead of Las Vegas. So I would like to think we could consider bringing that kind of effort local instead of farming it out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Torres. It's interesting how sometimes words can make things seem so simple, but refurbishment of a police car is actually very complex and specialized, but we appreciate your comments.
I believe the local guys can do it. I have confidence in them.
They have to provide a bid as well. So if they could do it, they would let us know. Thank you. Are there any additional comments during public hearing? All right, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to council. Any additional discussion or possible motion?
I think I'll try to read this long motion.
All right, Councilmember Diaz.
Okay, I move to 1, approve the cooperative purchase of 28 Ford vehicles from Santan Auto Partners, LLC, 1 Nissan from Midway Chevrolet, and 1 Bobcat Toolcat from Doosan Bobcat North America, 1 forklift from Heister Yale Group, and 3 dump trucks from Freightliner of Arizona. 2, authorize the city manager to execute a cooperative purchase agreement with Freightliner of Arizona, utilizing the state of Arizona contract. Authorize city staff to exercise options to renew through January 17th, 2029. And 3, approve the refurbishment of 4 police vehicles by Wild Rose Motors Ltd.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Diaz, a second from Councilmember Dolan. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. All right, item 8 on our agenda is the call to the public. This is where citizens have the opportunity to address the city council on items within the jurisdiction of Lake Havasu City. We can't have a two-way conversation at this point because it's not an agendized item, but we can listen intently. We can also direct staff if that's appropriate. You don't have to sign up. We didn't have anyone sign up. There also will be the time indicators on the screens around the room, and we ask that you address the comments directly to the council. Would anyone like to address City Council during call to the public?
I really wish I wasn't shorter than him. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Recently, I noticed that there were peaceful demonstrations at Wheeler Park on different Saturdays. And during those peaceful demonstrations, I realized, like afterwards, there are no pedestrian crossing signs. There's like no warning signs that there are pedestrians in the area. So the safety of people crossing the street, unless the street is blocked off for parades or other events, I realized that I didn't cross the street to go over there because I don't want to get hit by a car on McCulloch, because the cars would not be responsible. I would be responsible as the person crossing the street, as it would not be their fault. But to have signs up in the area to let drivers know that there might be pedestrians would probably be a good thing for people who would like to access Wheeler Park. There's not even a crosswalk to Wheeler Park. People cannot safely cross over to Wheeler Park. And that's just not, unless the street is blocked off for traffic. And you can't, if you want to just go sit there and soak in looking at the Christmas tree or looking at the Christmas lights, or you really honestly have to take a chance, and that is your job as a pedestrian, I know, to make sure, but there still could be, the city could put up pedestrians maybe in the area, watch out, 20 points each, kind of a thing. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else likes to address the city council during call to the public? Yeah, please. Yeah, just make your way to the podium and state your name for the record. Yeah, welcome.
Good evening. My name is Maureen DiGiulio, resident for 48 years here in Lake Havasu. My question is regarding code enforcement. We fortunately are able to have a residential home and a lot that we purchased years ago across the street from our residence. We recently got a letter informing us that we could not put our CUDs that are paid for, taxed, current on that lot because it's a vacant lot and it's against code enforcement. Even though I own the lot, I own the CUDs. I don't rent them to anybody. I don't loan them out. They just are there temporarily, generally through the summer, because we have two sets that rotate in and out. Today I was informed by code enforcement that if you own a lot and you have a residence and you have a lot next door, you can put your CUDs on that vacant lot because that lot is co-joined to your residence because there's a structure on it. But my lot is not co-joined to my residence because it's across the street. So therefore, I do not get to entertain the same privileges or civil rights of the people that co-own the lot that's exactly next door to them. I don't understand the fairness. I pay the same amount or more taxes for that vacant lot as do the people that own the lot that's vacant next to their house. So why should that lot be considered co-joined because they have a house? I have a house on my lot. It just happens to be my vacant lot is across the street. I don't understand the fairness of this.
Yeah, no, thank you for bringing that forward. We can't have a two-way conversation, but there is staff in the room that if you stay after the meeting, they can help address some of those concerns for you. Thank you. Yeah.
Randy Kozak, I'm with the Marine Corps League Detachment 757, and I want to extend an invitation to everyone. On August 26th, we have a memorial service for the 13 who were killed at Karzai Airport in Kabul, Afghanistan. And I would like as many of you as possible to attend that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council staff. My name is Bob Barrett. I live in Lake Havasu City. It's my second time addressing the council here for the same subject, the intersection, the impending stoplight at the intersection of Jamaica and McCulloch Boulevard. I understand that that's happening finally in September. Just a nod if yes. Okay, I'll continue then. If the nod was the other way, I would sit down. So I'm here again to voice my disagreement with the stoplight at that intersection for many reasons. Primarily, I think the intersection will become less safe, not more safe. I'm not going to rehash what I said 2 months ago. I think I used a lot of facts. I wrote an article in the local paper, had a lot of facts. I didn't get anyone challenging those facts. I'm assuming they're true. But just for folks who may not know, I went to a coffee with the mayor. I asked why a stoplight. There was a fatality a couple years ago. An older man, sadly, from not in this, who didn't live in the city, ran the stop sign, hit a razor, and unfortunately the driver died. That happened at night. He didn't know the area. I pulled a copy of the police report. The quote was, "It was so dark, I didn't see the stop sign." A stop light is not the proper solution for that. A lighted stop sign is. There would be no better way to honor the memory of that gentleman who passed away than to actually implement the right solution. We can implement lighted stop signs. We do have a dark city intentionally. We do have many stop signs that are very hard to see. And so instead of it's a $1.2 million project, 500,000 over budget and 9 months late. And you're implementing it just operationally in September when you could have done it in the summer when school was out. That's all preface. I should have talked earlier when the word Jamaica came up. I would have had 2 more minutes. But the Lake Havasu Metropolitan Planning Organization has just produced a strategic transportation safety plan. Mr. Mayor, you're the chair. Council members are on it. Staff is on it. It's 181 pages long. It is a detailed document. It's a book about how to improve intersections and roads in our city. Do you know what's not in that 181-page document? The intersection of Jamaica and McCulloch. Page 27, priority intersections by crash severity score. There are 20 here. I don't see Jamaica and McCulloch. Appendix 3, top 20 priority intersections. None of those are Jamaica and McCulloch. Yeah, we have a 1.25 million. I'll end with this. Councilmember Diaz, you said earlier about another subject, the knowledge of the issue that the folks come allow you to make better decisions. I know some of you have questioned, and I have as well, the median project on 95. That is an AZ DOT project with help from the Lake Havasu Metropolitan Planning Organization. When you go to AZ DOT, you expect them to listen to your good thoughts. I would like you to listen to my good thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett. Would anyone else like to address the City Council during call to the public? All right, we'll go ahead and close the call to the public. Item 9 is current events. Are there any current council committee reports? No. All right. Item 10, future meetings. Our next meeting is on Tuesday, August 26th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. It's a regular meeting. And then on Tuesday, September 9th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m., we will also have a regular meeting. Item 11, are there any future discussion items? Item 12, we are adjourned. Thank you for being here. Be kind, and we'll see you next time.